Alright guys, what's going on? So I'm back with another week of game pickups. We had a few weeks off, we had a long weekend, and then there was also a few rainy weekends that there wasn't really any pickups. But I think I got out a couple weeks back and made two pickups of consoles, primarily. The first one was a black Wii console. I'm just going to be showing the actual system, plus a couple of the controllers that came with it. This is the main reason that I picked it up, was it came with three of these black Wii Motion Plus controllers, which are pretty dang nice. These are about $20 each usually, I think. And then the console itself, sticker price on it was $15. I asked if they would take 10, and they said sure. It also came with all the cables and stuff, as well as a few other kind of like random accessories and stuff like that. So it's a really nice find. Got it home. And we got a bonus game of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Obviously disc only, but it's in a pretty nice shape, which is a pretty good game. Pretty great game to add in there as well. Also, the same day, I found one other Wii. This one was a white Wii console. This one, unfortunately, the girl, when I got there, the console wasn't out. I just had there's just a bunch of cables and stuff like that. No controllers either, but it was just like all the cables that kind of came with it. As well as this one game, which was Epic Mickey, which I didn't have yet. So I figured I'd pick this one up. I think she said she wanted like $2 for the game, and I asked if she still had the console. She said console is broken. It powers on, but there's no video on the screen. So I was like, you know what? I haven't really played around with too many busted Wiis, so I'm curious. Maybe I can open it up and see if I can figure out what's going on with it. Brought it home. It did not power on. I tried a few different cables. Tried composite. Tried component. No luck at all. And no bonus game. But I ended up picking up that Wii with Epic Mickey for $5. So even if I just get Epic Mickey, it's still totally fine. And I got a Wii to kind of experiment on and see if I can fix. From a little bit of Google searching and stuff like that, I think it might be the Bluetooth chip that's broken in there. But if you guys have any other suggestions of stuff I could try, or any repair stuff I could do, feel free to link me some videos or whatever. Cool. So that was all I found. I think that was 2 or 3 weeks back. And then this last weekend, I found so much stuff. So we got a ton of stuff to go through. I'm going to go pretty fast through everything. So first thing in the morning, I went out and started searching this one area around 7:30 or so was when the sales were starting. So it was really early for sales. But there was kind of a community sale through all of, I think it was Island Lakes, which is one area of the city. There was just kind of, everybody was having garage sales in that area this weekend. So first one I came across was a big box of original Xbox games. There was tons of stuff in there. I picked out a few that looked interesting to me, checked the discs, and they were all so scratched. So I didn't actually end up picking up very many of them. I only ended up picking up one, which was a game that I've seen a bunch and I've never played, called Blinx the Time Sweeper. Super cool to add that one into the collection. Yeah, so there was probably 20 or 30 games there, all stuff either I had, didn't want, and there was like 3 or 4 games that I was interested in. They were all just way too scratched. I also, at another garage sale, found the Super Mario Brothers live action movie, which is, it's not a game, but looks like a lot of fun. So I'll be checking that out. And then at one other sale, guy had out 2 of these original Xbox controllers. I think these are the Duke controllers. They're the kind of larger ones. So we had 2 of these out, and they were $2 a piece on them, and it came with the adapters and everything kind of attached. So I figured those would be a good pickup. He also had a few other random controllers. He had a PS3 console he was asking $50 for. Not in the market for that. But I asked if he had any other games or stuff kind of around, and he said that he was still kind of sorting through stuff, and he's going to bring it out as he got through it all. So I figured I'd go check out a couple other sales and then kind of come back. And I did come back. He had a few games there, and one of which was actually at the previous sale, which was really scratched, was Rayman Arena. So that's another one I'll be adding to the collection. Okay. Then after that one was one of the biggest sales I've ever seen actually at a garage sale. This guy must have been a collector. We were chatting for a little while, but he said it was just stuff that he had kind of from growing up. He had a lot of stuff. So he had probably 7 or so large boxes of things. So he had kind of bundles of these are dollar games, these are $5 games, these are $10 games, and then there was other ones that were individually priced. So I went there and I started picking out games that were interesting to me that I didn't have yet. One was Bravely Second and Lair. I've heard that the Bravely Second series is really, really good. So this is the second game of the two. I think they're both on 3DS. So I'll have to find the first one at some point and give that a playthrough. Another one that I found was Resident Evil Outbreak. I also picked up Valkyrie Profile Lenneth on the PSP, and a game that I have some very, very fond memories of playing originally on the GameCube. I have it on the PS2 now. Is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Really, really wicked game. And he also had several boxes that was like $30 for the box or $20 for the box. He had like a box full of N64 stuff that was like really worn out controllers and like bits and pieces of consoles he was asking $20 for. I really wanted N64, but I was not willing to take the risk on that box. There was, however, a box of consoles that was really interesting to me, and I did end up picking up. So this one included an Xbox 360. I think this is called the Xbox 360S. It's 250 gigabyte console, and it's like the matte finish. Tested, it is working perfectly. So I wiped that one, and that will be a flip. Another console in there was the PlayStation 2, the original fat version. Also tested working, beautiful. No controllers were included with these, but all of the power and video cables were included. So I'll be adding in some controllers that I have spare that I can just throw in with these guys. No problem at all. Also, a Sega Genesis. I think this is the first model, I'm pretty sure, which might have some work on it. I don't know. I haven't tested this one at all. But those two consoles are good to go. And then also inside the Xbox 360 was a bonus game, which was Tales of Vesperia. Really, really great game, which I already had, though. But I'll end up getting rid of that at some point. And then also in there were a few other kind of random oddities. So there was a Wii Classic Pro controller, which is a really, really nice controller. It goes for about $20 or so. As well as an N64 controller pack, a Wii Motion Plus, and 2 PS2 memory cards. I actually found a couple of these a few videos back, so it's nice to add a few more of these. Tested them both; they are working, and they are completely wiped now, so I can throw some saves on there. Beautiful. There was also, after I was like searching through everything, I found that there was still another box I hadn't looked through, so I browsed through it really, really quickly. We had already decided on a price for all this stuff, which was an insane deal. I think all the games, there was those kind of handful of games I had picked out. He said it was about like $27, I think, worth for those games. And then the box of all these consoles, it was either $15 a console or $30 for the box. So obviously with all that extra stuff in there, I went for $30 for the box. And I asked, man, what would you do for all this stuff? And he said $40 for all of it. And then I was like, okay, sweet, $40. I handed him the $40, and I saw there was another box. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna quickly look through this one. And there was one game in there that he ended up throwing in, which was Puzzle Quest Challenge of the Warlords on the DS. So we got all those games plus all those consoles for $40. What a steal! What a steal indeed. So that was already probably getting towards 10:30 or so in the day, and ended up going kind of across the city looking for a few other sales. Either these ones, it was really frustrating because I drove super far, and either the sale wasn't on or something had already been picked up. So it was kind of a waste of time, but I was still really happy with all of this stuff that I found already. So it was still a good day nonetheless. But I did end up dropping by the pawn shop on the way through, which ended up opening a little later. I kind of had to wait for like 15 minutes outside the pawn shop for it to actually open up, which was kind of strange. But I ended up picking up a few of these games, seven of them for $20. We got Elder Scrolls Oblivion Game of the Year edition. I have the original on 360 as well as the Shivering Isles pack, I believe. I'm pretty sure I do. But this puts it all kind of into one bundle, so I can save some shelf space, which is pretty nice. Also got a game called Narc on the original Xbox. This case is super gross and dirty, so I'll have to clean that one up. Def Jam Rap Star on the 360. Sealed copy of Fantasia Music Evolved for the 360. Big fan of Fantasia. I love those movies, especially the original one. One of my favorites of all time. So it might be cool to kind of check this one out. It's probably not a great game, but it'll be cool to add to the collection. We got another Wii U game, which is Zombie U. As I mentioned in the last video, they started carrying some Wii U games, in the 7 for $20 deal now, which is great. Here's a game that I used to have that I'm super excited to add back into the collection, which is Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. Super Monkey Ball is such a fantastic series. Really, really excited to add that one back in. And then there's another game. This is, I guess, some type of sequel to a game on the original Xbox that I always saw in magazines when I was growing up, and I really wanted to play it. But the entry cost was buy an original Xbox and then also buy this ridiculous setup. So it never ended up happening. One day, maybe. One day. It's a game called Steel Battalion Heavy Armor on the Xbox 360, which is another Kinect game. So yeah, I'm not sure if that one's any good or whatnot, but it's cool to kind of add it in. Beef up the Xbox 360 collection just a little bit more, which is the biggest collection that I do have so far. But we're beefing it up a little more with some cool games. And yeah, so this was at 10:30. The pawn shop opened up, so I was there for a little while picking out these games, and then there was one other Kijiji listing that I saw that listed old video games. So I figured going there around 11 o'clock or so, everything would be gone already. But I was like, what the heck? I'm going to go drive by it and see what they have. And I drove there, and they had games. They had games still. And I ended up picking everything up, except for a few that I already had, but I ended up picking up a few here. So the ones that I found right off the bat were Kingdom Hearts 358/2 Days. I don't know who comes up with these names, but it is ridiculous. On the DS. Picked up that one. Also picked up Link to the Past 4 Swords on the Game Boy Advance. And one which I was really excited to find, because I think this one's pretty hard to come by. It's not super valuable, but I've never seen it in real life before, which is Escape from Monkey Island. Really, really cool game for the PS2. So they were asking $5 a piece on each of these. So I thought that was actually pretty fair. $5 each on these ones was pretty good. And then I also was looking around a little bit more, and I saw a Elder Scrolls V Skyrim guide sitting there as well. So I tried to haggle with them, but I think this was like a multi-family kind of sale. So the Skyrim guide belonged to one person, and then the games belonged to a different person. And they were very firm on the $5 a piece on these games. So they said, why don't we do $20? So $5 for the guide, and then $5 for all the games. Ended up being like, I ended up just kind of saying, okay, I'll give you 15 for the games, and then the guide will just take $2. It's not in the greatest condition, but it is a nice one to kind of add onto the game guide shelf that I have. So I ended up picking up all of those for 17 total. And that is everything. It was a very, very awesome set of pickups these last few weeks. So I'm really, really happy with what we found. If you guys have any other questions or anything or comments, feel free to leave them below. I don't think we'll be having too many game pickup videos coming up in the next little while, because it is kind of transitioning into fall with school starting and stuff like that. So this might be one of the last ones, but I'm going to keep trying to keep them coming as I find some stuff. Might have to switch it from going into garage sales more towards just the pawn shops and Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace pickups, stuff like that. Yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. Leave me any kind of comments or questions down in the comment section below. And remember to like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Follow me on Twitch as well. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Later, guys. Have a good one.